What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pillkin. I'm coming back with another danchro video. Now, we talked about this a little bit last night during the live stream, and we need to talk about this a little bit more. We got some information today on updates, well, last night, on updates that are coming to the game. By the way, guys, there is a maintenance notice that literally just, as of prepping to record this, dropped, and that is the that starting on the 13th at 10 a.m., believe that is actually Eastern Standard Time. This should be for whatever time zone you're in. Not tomorrow, but the day after, the game is going to go under for maintenance for a little bit. So there are some major changes coming. Now, what changes? Well, let's go to our message here from the ops team. So there's a couple number one things. There's a couple things. Number one of which, addition of new characters related to the Danmachi Season 5 anime. So, in October, they introduced the new Ryu unit. We thought we'd get one like every week. Or, well, I thought we would, because that's what Danmemo did, right? Danmemo dropped a new unit every week, and I'm kind of glad they're not going that crazy, just because this game is not... I mean, no nice way to put it, free-to-play friendly enough to kind of sustain that. With Danmemo, people even started to complain after a while when that was happening, just because even though you had one or two, you could get a unit guaranteed pretty much every summon or every few summons. In that game, you needed 100% them. Now, this game's a little bit different. You don't have to 100% these units for them to be viable. Lately, units have gotten extremely good by upgrading them, but even just one unit is still viable and useful. Plus, these units tend to go in the general pool. So, here's the deal. Character's date outfit, recreated with the incredible detail, was extremely well received by players. Yes, it was. I really love that. While sale of the character has ended, we are considering offering it again for the future. For those who missed out, we ask your patience till the blah, 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 blah. So that kind of does insinuate that it was time limited, though. My understanding is it was going to go into the general pool at the end. Is that not going to be the case? Okay. Says we're currently working on the production of new characters, which are aiming to release around December. We plan to continue the release of new characters to coincide with the ongoing excitement surrounding the Season 5 anime. So, doesn't look like we're going to get a new unit this month. It looks like we'll get a new unit towards the end of the season. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, secondly, improvements to Battle Arena. Now, I was really concerned when we first saw this. It said end content revision, but hear me out. It says, as mentioned previously, the Battle Arena update that will take place mid-November, which actually is probably what that maintenance is about here in a couple of days. In the current Battle Arena, match outcomes are often dictated by specific character compositions. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that here in a moment. The standard setups are frequently recycled, resulting in permanent or persistent lack of variety in competitive environment. Yes. So, for me, I haven't changed up my team basically since the anniversary. There's just no need to. Okay? The direction of this update will involve adjustments to encourage shift in character usage each season. Okay. So essentially what they're saying is it seems like every season there's going to be like a bounty. Like this season use wind type, or this season use fire type, or maybe Anya units or something like that. There will become a point where it's like each one of these updates will encourage the use of different units. Though I don't think they're going to limit it to a certain number of units. It does seem like they're going to encourage different units. We also plan to revise the rewards. So in other words, one thing we discussed last night that would make a lot of sense is when you're encouraging the use of other units, you can increase your rewards for using those particular units. So, in other words, say... this month we want Loki Familia units. So if you use Loki Familia units, maybe for you get like a 10% boost or something like that. Just as an example. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just using an example. But, it seems like there's a big revamp to this coming. And I won't lie, it is very needed. Because both the PvP-ish situations here do get pretty boring pretty fast. It says here, as for Magic Stone Scramble, we're making adjustments with the aim of updating matchmaking and point increase, decrease aspects. So that's coming around mid-December, it says. I honestly haven't touched Magic Stone Scramble in a long time. Matchmaking's been atrocious. I've been stuck with nothing but bots. Admittedly, it's probably been 2-3 months since I've even attempted it, so I don't know if that's still the case. But during the anniversary, when playership was kind of at a really high point, the fact that it was really hard to find human players just made it kind of boring, personally. Now, for my free-to-play players, this next piece is really important. New characters obtainable through gameplay. This was one of the places where Danmemo absolutely shined. Every single time that we got a new event, it seemed like we got several free-to-play units from the gameplay, and I absolutely adore that concept. So until now, aside from the gacha pulls and campaigns, there's been no way to obtain characters by just continuously playing danchro. While we understand that for development reasons, implementing characters through gacha pulls takes priority, of course, I mean, it's how they fund the game, really. We will soon introduce new characters that can only be obtained through gameplay. So in other words, drop units. There will be units that you'll now be able to obtain, kind of like we could obtain scene cards through the various exchanges and things like that. It seems like these units will now be obtainable through gameplay, and that'll be really nice. It's a new way for them to increase variety in outfits and things like that without having to force people to pay money to play the game. So free-to-play units tend to be a little weaker, but the nice part is if they're farmable, and they're infinitely farmable, meaning you can farm that unit to 100%, there are a lot of situations where those units could be quite viable compared to, like, if done right, it could level the playing field between let's just say, for the sake of argument, a regular summon unit that's at A0 versus a maximum broken free-to-play or something like that. I don't think that the free-to-plays are going to be on the level of a regular UR. I would not expect that. I would expect them to be a little bit lower, but still, like an A0 to an MLB free-to-play would make sense. So that is what it is. Character growth. Now, this is interesting. I'll just kind of paraphrase this. Essentially, what they're doing is they're taking the level cap from 80 up to 100. That's going to happen in December as well, so we've got about a month or so before that takes place. But that is... they say here that it seems like people are getting bored with the levels, but I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of units at level 80. I've got a few, but not an insane number. But for mega whales and stuff like that, they've still got to do something to keep them engaged. So the level cap is going up to 100. Expect level 100 to be a very expensive, at least as far as like item cost prospect, but that is coming. Others will continue to use the message from Live Ops team to platform to share the future of danchro with you, etc., etc. So basically, keep your eyes on the news. More is coming. But that is all the big stuff that seems to be happening here to danchro over the next month or so. So stay tuned. Like I said, hopefully that big update to Battle Arena will actually be dropping this week, and that would be massive. But for now, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure you guys subscribe and share, and I'll be back with more coming up soon.